Welcome back to the 5e Frontier, everybody. Hope you've all had a good break. After our break, we are now joined by Brad. Back from work, he is now here to engage in the more serious business of playing in a Dungeons and Dragons game. Okay, and without any further ado, I think it's time we jump back in. Brad, I think perhaps Garrick was during the morning. Garrick was perhaps busy at the front, towards the fore of the boat, in discussion with Running River. He now rejoins the group as you're all preparing to delve into the jungle, or however else you plan on securing some prey. Um, before you head out of the makeshift camp that the Yoruba have made. Do you have any particular preparations you'd like to be doing, Brad?
No, I think I'm all good. I don't really use many weapons.
Sure.
Like that. Just follow along.
Okay. So I'm presuming that Rewi is leading this effort as a hunter from a Neolithic culture himself.
Yeah, I think that might be a little bit sensible that like I lead it and tell people what to do.
So what's the plan?
So I'm going to send Zitai to kind of walk, say, 20 paces ahead of us so he can accidentally scare out prey that we can jump and shoot / get eaten first.
Sure. So Rewi is from a planet called Tavali. It's quite similar to where you find yourselves now. Also, the moon of a gas giant, but it's very different. It's a very different place, even if its physical characteristics are similar. On Tavali, the creatures there have kind of had this arms race regarding hearing and sound. So the way to survive there is to be as quiet, as silent as possible. You are knowingly sending somebody to be deliberately loud out in front of you. Like, would that be jarring at all to Rewi? Do you think? How would Rewi how would Rewi feel about this?
So I think Rewi is getting used to people just being loud. Like they just don't walk like Tavali people, and it's always kind of annoying because like why would you step there? That's just going to scare things off. Because that's just in his blood as such. So he's getting used to the incompetence of other people and
Sure.
other cultures. But
And in this case, using it to your advantage.
yes, like no Tavali person would purposely be loud because that's dangerous and you'll probably die.
Fair enough. So are you just ranging out into the jungle, or do you have any like particular, characteristics you're going to judge a particular path on? Are you looking out for anything in particular?
So I guess I'll look for a more dense path because that means less traveled and more likely to have like smaller food stocks. Because if it's a well-worn path, it's usually bigger food stocks. So if we go for something dense and send Zitai out and cause havoc, we might have better luck scaring smaller prey out.
Sure.
But the aim of the game is him be loud, us be quiet, and basically throw spears and whatnot and kill a little prey.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of steer Zitai into the densest parts of the jungle you can find, I guess. Would you be telling Zitai that this is what you're doing, or would it be a case of like go over there, like we're going this way?
No, I'd happily tell Zitai this is exactly what I'm doing. I would never ever like accidentally send someone a suicide path. I'd only do
Mhm.
it purposefully.
Sure.
I'm not sure that's better.
Okay. Um, so I think I think Murat, can you give me an athletics check for
Sure,
how violent your passage is going to be through the undergrowth? Um,
sure.
um, Simon, perhaps we'll get a stealth or survival check, either one from Rowie.
Okay, I think I'll go for stealth on this as it makes the most sense.
So I've got 16 there for like kicking bushes as I go along.
Nice.
I nearly rolled a d10 then instead of a d20. So yeah, I've got
You
myself an
may as well
11. That's terrible, yeah. Oh
What's your
well. I've got an 11.
11? Okay. So you move through the undergrowth in this fashion. The three of you behind, having spears ready to throw at small game that is scared out from Zitai's passage. You're able to skewer a couple of small things, like rodents type creatures mostly. There seems to be quite a few of these like flying squirrel looking things, like a squirrel but with like membranes stretched between its feet or its legs. It seems that under this low gravity and relatively high pressure, they can actually fly rather than just glide. So you see them kind of like flapping out of the undergrowth, and you're able to skewer a couple of them. They are very small though. Um,
Hmm.
so like one of them, like there's enough meat on it for a snack for one of you guys. The Yoruba probably wouldn't even notice it going down. But it's better than nothing. You get a few of them with it, like within 20 minutes, you're able to get a few of them. Murat, what's Zitai's passive perception?
Um, 12.
12. Okay. Can you give me a dex save?
Mm.
Sure.
This is not from something you can see, so no advantage here. Your passive perception was not high enough in this case.
That one
That
for
one.
3.
Wow.
So, like you're muscling through the undergrowth. Like a couple of times you feel like something's like stroke your face. Like we've all been there. You moving through like through under a tree or by a bush or in your house, and like there's a bit of spider web on your face, and you just like swat it away. You just like swat it away without thinking. Then you find that it's happening quite a bit. And then you realize that's when I think it would clock the Zitai that um, maybe this is something that you should worry about. And then you spot it, a spider perhaps 5 inches across, just kind of hanging in midair in front of you. Um, then you see the spider, like the web that it's stretched out below its bulbous thorax. Um, it's too late for you to like stop walking. Like by the time you clock it, it's like that far from you, and you run straight into this web. Notably, maybe 10 or 20 other other spiders just as big run out from underneath the undergrowth, run up the spider web and onto you. Um, can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
25.
25. Nice.
Phew.
Like you feel them like biting you, but their teeth aren't like their pincers aren't really able to get through your clothing very easily. A couple of them, like on your hands and like one on your face, are able to bite you in on your skin. And you can feel your muscles beneath where they bite you, like spasming and contracting without you telling them to. It's very unpleasant and very disconcerting and moderately painful. What are you gonna do from this position?
Garrick, light me up.
Fireball. No.
Oh,
I'll cast Burning Hands. Like I'll step forward and just like flamethrower him, I guess,
Yeah.
with Burning Hands.
Sure. So Marat, you can give me a dex save here. You can deliberately fail it if you but the you can give me a dex save here if you want, but the spiders will share your dex save here.
I'm deliberately failing.
Sure.
Like I am. I just want them off me. Like no, I am just turning in a circle. Light me up, light me up. Like eyes closed, hands waving. Like
Yeah. So
no
roll
deck
damage,
save.
bud.
Okay. For 12 damage, and should we see if this? Oh, and a wild magic surge.
oh.
Roll me the wild
Ooh.
magic surge.
Oh, I don't even have the table on me. Hang on. I got a 20, whatever that is. Where's my
Not
handbook?
one of the ones I know off the top of my head.
No, so that's good, right?
No.
I don't know about that.
This is as if I end up in the Shadow Realm and this whole campaign goes awry.
I mostly just know the meme ones off the top of my head.
I mean, the meme ones are dangerous, right?
How far away from Rowie and Calidus did Garrett get? Let's sort out that distance.
20 paces, so 20 feet. You're like I think it's a 15-foot range, Burning Hands. So the minimum distance away from you that Garrick is 5 feet.
Oh, shoot.
So
That's right next to you.
while casting a fire spell, I cast Grease centered on self.
Nice. Nice.
Everything's on fire.
Okay. So Simon, Jord, can Cowardice and Rowie both give me dex saves? You too, Brad.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
My spell save DC is 14, if that helps.
Yeah, we'll go off your spell save.
A dex save.
That's a 19 from me.
And a 20 from me.
Okay. Brad?
19 from me as well.
Nice. So the ground beneath you as you cast this spell, like one thing you note when you cast this spell, the magic is coming much more easily to you than it has done in the past. Like you don't know if this is normal or not. Garrick's from a planet that exists inside an anti-magic field. It's an artificial anti-magic field that's been there for thousands of years and is supported by the government of the planet. They keep it running. But recently, they were contacted by the Exploration Corps, and those that wanted to leave were able to, and were able to practice their magic. Garrick's only had access to his magic for what a year or two now, after having left Thore. So it's anyone's game as to like how this is supposed to work. But it seems to be coming like there's something like there seems to have been like a break point maybe that's happened recently, and now magic's coming to you more easily. Having said that, you weren't expecting the magic to come to you quite so easily, and the spell kind of gets out of control a little bit. From your hands, the material that normally jets forth from your hands when you cast Burning Hands, the sort of like the sort of the fuel that burns when you cast it forwards. It spreads down and like drips onto the floor. Just a couple of drips at first, but then a gushing torrent. And it's not long before the three of you are now standing in in a pool of burning fuel, essentially. The undergrowth is starting to catch a little bit as well, as it's been a little bit since it rained. Brad, can you give me a d6? Like the three of you will take a d6 fire damage from this. Get your pencil out, Simon.
Damn it! We're gonna have to find one.
3 points of fire damage.
Sure. Yeah. That's happening now. Like you're able to the fuel's quite slippery, but the three of you are able to keep your footing. What are you gonna do? You're just standing in this fire now.
Hop out if I can.
Valid. Yeah.
Drop and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
Don't stop dropping rolls.
Yeah, you're not covered in the grease, so you're able to put it out relatively easily once you get out of the grease. But the undergrowth immediately around the area that was set on fire is starting to burn. It is wet, it's wet plant matter. It's not dry, so it's casting this quite thick black smoke up beyond the canopy. The fire doesn't seem to be spreading really much further than the grease, but the plants that are in the grease they're burning and casting this horrible acrid black smoke.
I'll try my best to stomp it out, because this isn't going to make a good impression to this new tribe we're supposed to be burning down a bit of their forest.
Yeah, you are on their turf now. Yeah, so you go in to stamp it out, but as soon as you go close to it, you can feel the hairs on your face start to curl a little. Do you want to just keep trying to stamp it out? You're probably gonna get badly burned if you do, but you might be able to make some progress.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. What else can I do? I don't think I can really. I hit it with a
I think we might
branch,
have
but
to
that's
just
not
let
going to
it.
go well.
Yeah, we might have to just let it burn its course. I'm going to stand my way out of the grease pile and just take an objective look from the outside of it.
Yeah, it's the fire. As I said, the fire doesn't seem to be spreading. But you can see steam coming from plants that are relatively nearby. It is slowly drying out the plants that are nearby it. So it might spread. Who knows? Depends. It has said it's been a little while since it rained here, but it has rained in the last couple of weeks.
In that case, I think I'm going to take one of my daggers and start clearing the undergrowth around the fire to create sort of a barrier of space, if you will, so that
A
it can't
fire
spread.
stop.
What's that? Sorry.
It's called a fire stop, I believe.
It is, yes. So that sounds like some intense manual labor. So I think an athletics check will be required here. You'll have advantage because you're using an appropriate tool. I think
Okay.
a knife would do the job of a crowbar here.
Okay.
It's a job that a
Let's have a
crowbar
little look.
for anyway.
It's a 20. No, it's not. I didn't drop lowest. 1 second.
18. No? 16.
Yeah, 18. 16 it is.
I can do maths, I swear.
16.
Quick maths.
16, 18?
16. I'd like it to be an 18, but it's a 16, unfortunately.
Sure. Yeah, so you're feeling the heat very much so, getting that close, but you're able to hack away all the undergrowth in a ring around the fire. It's not going to spread along the forest floor now, at the very least, and the canopy is high enough above that it's unlikely to catch anything up there.
Right. Carry on, guys. Try not to set fire to the whole forest.
Yes, sorry about that.
How are the spiders on Zita at the moment? How are they doing?
Quite crispy.
Are they cooked? Can we eat them?
I
Can
mean,
you ever eat them?
they've fallen onto the ground. Looking down at them, they look kind of roasted. They look a little bit like the sort of roast cockroaches that they used to make when your masters on that station that you used to live on didn't give any people enough food rations.
I mean, are that worse? I'll start collecting them with a stick.
As you reach out for them, it's like venomous. Like the face is still twitching from it, I wouldn't risk it.
No, as long as it's venom and not poison.
Yeah, like two different things.
I mean, if you guys want to risk that,
I'll trust Rary to check with his survivalists to have a little look at them. But I mean, we can put them in a bag.
I'll check it
the
out.
legs might be good.
I'll check it out with my poisonous kit. I'm sure there's something in there to see kind of if it is poison or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, are you doing that now? It'll probably take a little bit to do the analysis.
Well, if I kind of... Well, what I was thinking is if I like litmus paper test, kind of like test it and then check the result after a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it would, like, you're aware that it would be best to do that, like, in a controlled situation, like you're not, tracing through the undergrowth while the tests are developing. You could do it now if you wanted to. Like, you can roll with disadvantage if you'd like now, or you could, wait till you get back to camp.
I'm gonna do it now.
Sure. Give me a check with disadvantage as you like rush through the various diagnostics for the spider venom.
Yeah. Drop highest one, isn't it? We're going for survival, yeah?
Certainly are.
I'll say 17.
Sure. So you take a couple of glass vials out of your kit. The normal stuff you would have used on Tavali has been supplemented by some high tech stuff from Ember. There are a couple of like general toxicology test kits that you've got. You put a drop of the spider's venom onto into a couple of the toxicology test solutions, and let them develop over a few minutes. It comes out as the results for the venom, if ingested. It looks like it'll increase the chances of you getting cancer within 10 years by 5%, but it's not going to do you any harm like immediately.
Okay.
Probably wouldn't. Yeah. It probably wouldn't receive a food certificate stamp on Ember. Like, probably wouldn't be considered safe to eat. But in a pinch, you can eat it.
I'll let Calidus know that and throw it over, kind of thing. And I'll keep the rest of the spiders because obviously there's some benefit in having venom. Even if it is cooked, it might still work.
Yeah, it'll be a bit denatured after being roasted, but you might be you can extract you can extract the glands at a later date and use it on your arrows.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Calidus, are you eating it?
I'm not going to eat it after that diagnosis. I'm going to leave it for your arrows. I think it's better suited that way.
Okay. Cool.
After that diagnosis, Zitai will break off a couple of the legs and munch on them. Because the legs should be fine.
Yeah, like breaking the legs off. That like you're able to kind of like suck out the innards of the legs. It's not especially tasty, but it's food. It seems to be food.
It's a warm meal.
Yeah, it is. It's a warm meal. Yeah, like it's more of a snack than a meal. Like the spiders aren't amazingly big. You imagine this would probably be better deep fried than roasted.
It's more revenge than a meal.
He gives like a hesitant look towards the grease that's currently burning and thinks better.
Nice. Sure. But yeah, as you're sucking the flesh from the legs of these spiders, are you guys forging ahead, looking for more game?
Yeah, I'm going to change tact a bit because Aruba aren't going to be too happy with some flying squirrels and small prey. We're going to have to try and go for a boar or something of that kind of variety to actually
A bit
satisfy
bigger.
any of their hunger.
Yeah, I mean they've got various cured, like they've got a stash of cured meat with them, like smoked meat. Like they don't need the food especially, but if they give it, like, it would be, everyone will be much happier if they've got some fresh food to eat rather than trail rations. Nobody likes trail rations.
And that's it. It's better than leaving little drummer boy alone in a camp where there might be a fire.
Sure.
Like they don't do fires around her.
Oh, that's true. They're just eating raw.
Yeah. Right. So you're saying that our aim is to draw out bigger prey, like more likely predators than prey.
Well, boars aren't predators. They're just bigger meat sources. Like cows aren't predators.
They might be on Ember. Not on Ember, on Shrike.
They're on strike, maybe.
Predatory bovines.
If you find a brontosaurus, like, that's not going to be a predator, but if it's a lot of food.
It's very true. And how do we
Zita
draw
is-
out a brontosaurus?
You see that tree costume you've got?
We're becoming vegetable bait. I can be vegetable bait. I'll happily do that.
Zita's gonna roll up the sleeves on his forearms and ask Calidus to put light cuts on the blade of his arm, so there's the smell of blood in the air, just to draw out predators. Because then we're more likely to get something big hunting him.
I will happily oblige, as long as the plan is. Well, I think a plan should work as if we rub the blood on trees and then go set a trap so we can all ambush. I don't mind doing that.
Either way, I'm bait, but I am aware that this is my lot in life.
You're very good at
Okay,
it.
well, I suggest that. I mean, how long do we think this fire will be burning for?
Well, you'd be aware that the fuel is going to disappear in about a minute. And the undergrowth that was caught in it will probably burn for a few minutes afterwards, and will be smouldering maybe for a couple of hours after that.
Okay, so I think the best idea from my point of view anyway is that if I put my ghillie tree suit on, my twig suit, as I'm so fondly calling it, put my twig suit on, and I will cut Zitai. Now, Zitai, if you run for a minute in that direction, and then run back for a minute, you'll end up exactly where we are, but cover as much stuff in blood as you can on the way. And then we can build the trap around this little clearing, and you can stand in the middle of it. That way we can lead any predators right towards us.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I'll start getting into my costume. I'll cut you first and send you on your way. I'll get into my costume, and if Garrick and Rory would like to do the same thing and position themselves in the undergrowth and the trees, we can wait for an ambush.
As you're running off, I go, avoid the spiders this time.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just going to
do you want
tree.
to, Pat? Do you want me to take any actual damage for making sure there's enough blood for this?
No, it's fine. Like this, you can sort it out.
Cool.
Okay.
So
I want
it'd be best to ask.
I'll get my bow out and sort of half draw my bow, waiting. Well, not half draw it. That's going to take a lot of energy. I'm just going to wait.
Sure. I'm sure Calidus' artistic talents could wait for another day. So
They eye for that now.
Are you preparing this clearing at all, or is it just going to be the burned undergrowth?
I'm happy for the burned undergrowth to be the sign for where Zitai comes back. I'm just going to climb a tree so I can jump out and spook whatever hopefully comes chasing.
Sure. What about cowardice?
I'm going to get in my twig suit and just get a blend into the natural habitat,
Sure.
ready the bow, and stand there waiting,
Brilliant.
looking really inconspicuous.
And what about Garrick?
I will suggest perhaps we could use some of the things we caught earlier as further bait.
Mm-hmm. We can place them in the middle of the clearing.
Maybe get a few and I guess use their blood as well. Bloody up the clearing a little bit more. Make it look like a few creatures had a small fight and one is wounded. Make it look like
Great idea. Yeah. I'll hop to work with you and do that before hiding again.
Yeah. Then after that, I'll hide.
I'll watch
Sure.
this from up a tree.
Sure. Zitai, as Zitai is moving through the undergrowth, marking trees and bushes as he goes, you run for a minute. You get to the point when you're gonna turn around. At this point, you come upon a brook. It kind of it kind of meanders through the rainforest, running from your left to your right. Like intellectually, there's something in your back of your mind would know that that's running towards the river that you're rowing up. But on the opposite side of the river, maybe 200 feet down, you spot that there's a large ape-like creature, more like a gorilla in build, but its fur is completely white. It's kind of like sitting by the edge of the water, just kind of like reaching down with a hand, scooping some up and drinking it. It is very, very large. Weighs possibly upwards of a ton, and it just seems to be sitting there drinking the water. Doesn't seem to have noticed you, or if it has, it doesn't care. If it has noticed you, it doesn't care that you're there.
Okay. So I'm guessing from the description that this gorilla-like creature dwarfs Zitai.
Yeah. Like as it is now, hunched down and drinking, it's about as tall as you are. If it were to stand, like it's just as broad as it is tall, and if it was to like stand up on its back legs, it would probably be twice your height at least.
Stop. Take a breath. Look towards it. Nice day for it. Does it respond at all? Because I know that there's arboreal creatures that we're due to meet. So rather than just trying to piss it off, I'm going to start with general conversation.
Yeah, it looks at you. There isn't understanding in its eyes, but you feel like there's wisdom almost. It's a very strange feeling looking at this creature. Like its eyes are very old by the look of it. That's the feeling you get from it. And like there are hundreds of like tiny wrinkles around the edges of its eyes as it looks at you for a few seconds, and then goes back to drinking.
Yeah, Zitai likes a fight, but he's not suicidal. He's taking this as a win. Like the gods of fate have decided not today, so he's going to turn around and start jogging back to the group.
Sure.
Like doing the same thing that he was on the way there, remarking the trees.
Yeah, that's fine. You arrive back at the group. Are you telling them of your encounter?
I'm assuming I can't see any of them. I know that they're around the clearing, so I'm just gonna kind of hunker in the center where they've prepared a lot of bodies for me to sit in and just kind of like say out loud to the clearing about like, saw a really large ape, like really big. Didn't want to kill me. Quite happy with that.
A friend, a new friend.
Don't know about friend.
Did you catch its name?
No, didn't seem to understand when I said hello to it. So I kind of just took my blessings and backed off.
As any of us would. I think that's the right idea.
Yeah, I didn't pick a fight just in case it was the part of the tribe that were due to meet, but like it could have probably crushed even me underhand easily. So I didn't pick a fight deliberately.
I
Personal
think
growth
I think
there.
that's probably for the best.
Gestures
Probably for the best.
vaguely to the tree line.
Yeah, I think hearing this, I'd look around the trees as I'm up them, so I get a clearer picture and
Sure.
possibly see any more of these creatures.
So you're going you following his path? Did you say sorry?
No, as I'm up the tree,
Mm,
because I was getting there to like jump down and fire down.
sure.
I'd look amongst the branches as such of the trees because it'd be more of an eye level for me to see if I
Yeah.
can spot any other similar creatures.
Give me a perception check.
I can't even remember now if gorillas actually climb trees. I don't think they do.
I don't think so.
Um, so that is an 18.
Okay. So looking around the tree lines, looking around the lower canopy where you are, the 30 feet off the ground, you can't see any large creatures around you really. Like the largest things that are you can see around you are insects, the odd beetle, things like that. Um, I should note that your visibility up here isn't amazing. It's quite the trees that you're around here have quite substantial like leaf, like they have almost a second canopy. The leaf like there's a lower canopy and an upper canopy. The leaves
Hmm.
of the lower canopy are much darker green and very kind of robust. Almost these leaves looking like, and they're quite thick as well. So looking around into the canopy, your line of sight isn't any longer than it would be on the ground, really.
Right,
Uh,
okay.
but there's none in your immediate vicinity anyway.
Well, that's good. I guess. I guess the next thing then is to wait for like a quiet period where none of the group are talking and kind of listen out for movement because that's very strong game, really. But who knows when they'll be quiet.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's fine. So, what are you guys doing from here then? Just continuing to execute the plan.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay hidden, stay quiet, and see what comes along.
Okay. So for the efficacy of the plan, we'll use a survival check, I think. Simon, do you want to do the survival check?
Sure thing.
Does he get like advantage from the preparations we've made with like spreading blood to draw creatures?
No, I think that's the reason. That's the reason we're making the check.
Fair enough. Can't blame me for trying.
No, that would have always helped, you know. Let's have a look. That is a 19.
Sure. So you guys stay put for a good 15, 20, 30 minutes. Um, at some point, you hear a rustling noise coming from the north, the direction that Zitai went, roughly speaking. Um, You can see that you can see that it is that giant ape seems to be following the blood trail. Occasionally, it stops. It kind of reaches out with one paw or hand to kind of like it gets a bit of blood on it and smells it. Um, then continues picking its way forwards through the undergrowth.
I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes.
Yeah,
Zitai versus Yeti. Who wins?
probably the Yeti. Is Zitai going to notice it approaching?
Yeah, it's not quiet.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
going to
kind
be
of
a oh no moment. Just like stretch out the arms. This is going to hurt, and just wait.
I'm gonna whisper to Zitai from the tree line. Be friendly. It seems benevolent. I mean, it's not trying to kill you yet. I don't know why it'd have any reason to now, unless it
Yeah,
finds you in a clearing full of the bodies of its friends. But other than that,
I truly love you all.
So after a couple of minutes, it makes its way to the edge of the clearing. Zitai is not hidden, so it sees you immediately, and it just sits there for a few seconds, looking at you. It's not outwardly hostile, but it's not it's not a humanoid. Its body language is different to yours. It's very difficult to tell what its intentions are, but it's like its muscles aren't tensed. Like it's not like obviously ready to pounce on you.
is
Roll
that
it
in the same way
insight.
that like a human wouldn't have tense muscles when seeing a squirrel in front of it, no matter if the squirrel was doing wrong?
Um, yeah, I mean it's difficult to tell. I mean, an animal handling check perhaps might allow you to ascertain its intentions.
Um, I'll have a little check of that just because I'm curious.
That's one that I don't ask for often in these campaigns.
No,
You come up so often.
I'm sure that's what you asked when I
that
met the
is.
Aruba.
Yeah,
That's in that one.
that one.
I,
Um,
I don't think I know what's going on.
yeah, so looking at it, it's definitely perceived a threat here, and it seems to be calculating how best it wants to eat Zitai.
How self-aware am I that I'm not very good at this?
That's up to you. That is entirely up to you, Jordan.
I feel pretty self-aware right now. I'm going to keep quiet on any advice, mainly because I'm scared from the tree line.
Yeah.
I'd be scared too.
So what's
After
Zitai?
what I've just perceived, I'm definitely more scared than I was.
Like Zitai's just gonna like look at it sat on the edge of that edge of the clearing, just like this is the exact opposite of what I wanted. uh, uh, yeah, he's just gonna look at it and like do the like wide arm shrug of what?
Okay. As you kind of do your wide arm shrug, it kind of like sits back on its haunches, like stands up, straightens its back a bit, and it bares its teeth a little bit.
It's at this moment Zitai realizes that he fucked up. But he's started now, so from there he's just gonna like bring like a fist in, pound on his chest.
Oh.
I've accidentally started this. I'm just gonna lean into it.
Sure. As you pound on your chest, it kind of cocks its head to one side and stares at you for a couple of seconds, then turns around and goes to leave.
Huh.
Can we follow it?
I'm kind of gonna whisper like, "Oh, Do we want this one?
I'm more curious than anything with it now. Like this is a massive great ape, and it doesn't seem hostile.
Guys, yes or no? Are we eating it or not?
No,
I don't
no,
think
I'm not
so.
eating it.
I think it would make an amazing mount, though.
You first. I'm just gonna let it walk away.
Yeah, I think we just choose a different direction to make another trail in.
So
Well, we've tried north, so
yeah, I'm just gonna stay there, let it walk off. I'm not gonna try and anger it any further.
I don't know if I should swing down and try and talk to it using my speech of leaf and beast.
I think you definitely should.
I think it's because of the Aruba, I think I would, but I don't want to.
I think you should swing through the trees and then jump down right in front of it, and then ask it.
Just make sure it's really startled, yeah?
Yeah, that.
So how you play?
So I'm gonna climb through the trees a bit, kind of, to get a bit in front of its path. So it would have to come past me to
Sure.
continue on the path.
Sure, that can happen. It's not moving especially fast.
Good. And then I'm gonna sit on the floor, kind of cross-legged, in its path, and then kind of not look it in the eyes because I know looking in the gorilla's eyes is really, really bad news. Um, but I'll try and communicate to it using speech of leaf and beast to go. Are you kind of the inhabitant of the tribe here? Are you of the tribe, I guess?
Yeah. So as you do that, it definitely takes notice of you in a much more kind of proactive way than it was doing with the time. It sits on the ground in front of you. Um, it doesn't do anything or say anything. And like speech of leaf and beast doesn't give animals a way of communicating with you. It just lets them understand you.
Yeah.
So if it understands if it understands the concepts within that question, it wouldn't be able to answer you anyway.
Right. But it's sitting there patiently with me, kind of thing at the minute.
Yeah, it's you've definitely got its attention. It seems interested in you.
Okay. So I'm now gonna go closer to it, we're within reaching distance. I'm not going to try and pet it this time. That was a bad idea with the Aruba. I understand now. I'm not going to go, good boy, like I did with the Aruba. That was also a bad idea. So I'm going to take out some food from a bag and hand it over.
Sure. What food is it?
So it's not going to be meat, because that's always a bad sign when you hand over meat because it means you've killed something. So I'll take out some veg of some sort, mushrooms. Got
Yeah.
mushrooms.
Yeah. It takes it. It sniffs it. It eats it. Kind of. It seems to appreciate the gesture.
Cool. I want to see what this thing does on magic mushrooms.
Um,
You're about to share a trip with a Sasquatch.
I'm not
Right,
taking any.
it gets up, stands on its knuckles, and it's feeling it. Then it reaches one enormous hand out towards you. It doesn't seem to be threatening necessarily, like it's not moving quickly or it's not no snappy motions.
Yeah.
But it's reaching out for you.
I'll let it because I think if I try to run away at this point, it might just grab me and squeeze me to death.
Sure. So it kind of grabs one of your arms, and as it does, it is incredibly gentle. It seems to be it seems to understand that if it is a bit rough, then it will break you like a twig.
Yes.
So it's exceedingly careful not to do that. And then it kind of like leads you back the way it came, back towards where Zitai is.
Okay. I'll go with it. Like, this is sound. I made a new friend. This is better than Little Drummer Boy. This is Big Drummer Boy.
Yeah. After after a couple of minutes, you come to the edge of the clearing where you left Zitai. I assume Zitai is still there.
Yep.
Yeah. It stops on the edge of the clearing. It looks at you and then points at Zitai.
Looks at me and then points at the tie. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll wave to Zitai.
Zitai very confusedly raises his hand and waves back.
As you raise your hand, it points gestures to your arm, which is injured.
Right. Okay. I'll put some I can find some rags. I don't know medicine, but I know the like things you go through for medicine, like putting kind of cloth on cuts and things. I'll go to do that. Like, I'll walk over and help. Like
Okay.
yeah, like make a show of helping.
Sure. It it watches you as you do, and it watches Zitai as well.
And then
It wants to help.
I'll come back to to it to see if it still wants to be friends.
Yeah, it kind of looks at you and then looks at Zitai. Um, it slowly starts approaching Zitai.
I'll say to Zitai, don't be afraid. He's a big friend, like Big Drummer Boy.
Great. I'm going to just stand there and let it approach.
Yeah. Much as it did with Rowie, it reaches out to grab one of your arms, your injured arm particularly.
I
Dun,
will
dun, dun.
hold the arm out to it.
Yeah. It looks at the arm, holds it in one hand, palm up, and puts its other palm over your arm. It closes its eyes for a second, and you feel that familiar sensation, like kind of itching sensation that you get when wounds magically heal.
Oh,
Wow.
Um, it it concentrates for a second. There's this kind of like golden white light that kind of comes out from between its palms where your arm is, and then your arm is completely fine.
like, does it accidentally heal some of the burns from earlier as well?
Yeah, yeah, like all the burns on that arm are sorted as well.
I am so like as this happens, he says out loud, "I am so glad I didn't pick a fight with you."
Yeah, it doesn't acknowledge what you said. It just turns around and like walks out of the clearing.
I'll walk with. He's a friend. I'll stick with.
Yeah,
Guys, I think we've lost Rowie.
I've got to
I
train it to be my
don't really want to
mount.
say anything, just in case I startle it. I'm just gonna have to let it go and keep in tree form for now.
sure.
I'm gonna just sit down out of relief, mostly.
Sure.
Relief and gratitude
Yeah.
for the healing.
How's Garrick handling this? What's Garrick doing?
I think I'm kind of just sitting in my hiding space, just watching with wonder. I think.
Yeah.
Once it gets a bit far away, I guess I'll come out. And say to Zitai, we should probably go get Rory back. I don't think it's good to kill this creature.
I don't think we could. I think it'd win.
Yes, so we at least need to start looking for something else. And I don't think anything nearby will attack if that's near us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm gonna walk out of my little hiding space, obviously patting down the hairs off the back of my neck and arms after what's just happened, and yeah, follow on. We need to follow Rory, I guess. Get him back.
So
If we
Rowie,
have to.
Rowie has followed this thing. I think that it would definitely occur to Rowie that back on Tavali, there were things similar to this. The Tavali people called them the children of the forest. They were ape-like creatures, individuals that sometimes helped people out, though they were very much not always benevolent to the Tavali people. Sometimes they were as often bringers of destruction to the Tavali people as they were bringers of healing and plenty. They were the source of a lot of superstition, um, a lot of superstition among the Tavali people, and they were almost like they had almost like sacred spirit status, I guess, not god status, but sacred. Like they were revered within like the spiritual traditions of the Tavali people. This isn't exactly the same. Like you're aware that the children of the forest don't look like this. They were much smaller. But you're definitely getting the same sort of like the same energy, as it were, off this creature.
Right, okay. I guess what I'm gonna do, like, I'm going to be friendly with this creature and try to guide it back to camp.
Okay, how are you going to
I,
try and
so like it held my arm kind of thing before, so I'll like hold its arm and like just pull it slightly, like come this way. Because if it is food, the Aruba will eat it. If it's not food, like
yeah?
look at this
Okay.
thing I found. Whoa!
You like physically though. How are you guiding it? Because it grabbed your arm and guided you before.
Yeah. So I would grab its arm kind of thing. I know I'm not gonna be able to pull it or anything, but I'd like kind of tug it slightly to kind of go, come this way. Kind of like pulling its arm slightly.
Without looking at you, it kind of brushes your hand off and keeps going.
Oh,
This
this
is
isn't good.
a force of nature. We can't alter this, I don't think.
Hmm. Um, I guess like I can get in front of it and make it obvious like this is the way I want you to come. Like I'll try and make like the hand signals or like friendship kind of thing, like shaking hands and such.
Yeah. It kind of watches you as you do that, ponders for a couple of seconds, then turns around and continues going in the direction it was going.
Right. Right. There's only one thing I think that will make it like listen to me, and that is a full down meltdown. So I'm gonna cry like a baby, like like proper apish child, kind of like stomping the floor, kind of like
Sure.
proper kind of infancy to see like if it,
Tantrum.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Give me a performance check.
this isn't something I'm good at, but like primal instincts, they just kick in. So that is a 12.
Okay. So with your 12, like it would turn around and like look at you, then it would approach you, and it would reach its hand out um, to put it like on your head almost.
Ah, shit. Punch.
And
I would panic and kind of point to the way I want it to go.
I mean, if you're not moving, it's going to put its hand on your head.
I realise
I think
this,
you should
but
let it.
I also realise I haven't really got much choice at this point. Like I've got to either carry out the plan, or it's going to chase me down and kill me anyway. So I'm gonna I'm gonna
Okay,
be okay.
sure. Give me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Oh, this ain't good.
You're about to learn.
That's a 20.
20. You feel an overwhelming sense of tiredness come over you. Like you really just want to just like settle down and go to sleep right now. Um, like you've got enough presence of mind that you understand that this is clearly a magical effect that it's applying to you, and you can choose to resist it if you'd like.
I think it's best that I resist this because I don't know how long I'm going to be out for. Like, I'll resist it, but I'll like quiet down. Obviously, it does not like tantrums. It just puts them to sleep.
Yeah, so you kind of simmer down a bit and become much more calm. It kind of looks at you, cocks its head, then turns around and goes to leave. Now that you're calm.
Damn it! Right.
Is there any way you can like take note of its tracks, so
It's
you
a
know
big
how to
thing.
find it again?
I'll probably be able to track it no matter what.
Now that it crosses Rewi's mind, looking down, it's actually really not leaving any tracks at all. You think you might be able to pick something up if you really like tried, but just having a glance, there's nothing really there.
That's insane. Um, right. Well, I've tried aggravation. I've tried being friends. The only other thing's hostile,
Oh
and my
no.
friends aren't here. Like, I guess I'm just going to go find everyone else and tell them I was unsuccessful.
Sure, you're not choosing
Uh,
violence.
no, I might mock it slightly on purpose, like, oh, too good to fun with me, right? No friend. Like, but other than that, I'm heading back to my friends.
Sure,
And
it,
this time.
it continues unperturbed. You,
Luckily,
at that point, the others would come around the corner looking for you.
Right. I'll tell them that it tried to put me to sleep.
So glad we
I'll
did.
agree that it had a great idea with that. But
How so, Calidus?
well, I don't really want to be in combat with whatever that was. It seems benevolent. It seems kind. I've seen a lot of evil, and that thing didn't seem evil to me.
Oh. Well, I don't know if I eat things like this here. Maybe there's a herd of them.
Seemed
And
pretty
if there
solitary.
is, here's the thing though, if there is, we die. Like, I don't think we'd have won a fight with just him. Now, if there's
No.
more of them, no.
Well, that's why I was going to try and lead him back to camp.
Or we could just
I
go a
think
different way from the way it walked off and try and hunt something else.
I think that we're here. There's a small stream, river, water source passing by. I mean, everything needs water to live. I assume it's the same on Shrike. So we can follow the river up and down and look for small game.
That sounds adequate, Calidus. That sounds like a great idea.
I'll on that note, I'll start trekking off towards the main river, rather than away from it.
Yeah, that would take you roughly in an easterly direction.
I'll point out that I found a brook. That there was a source of water.
Yeah. Well, we'll follow that down towards the main river, I think.
Perhaps keep an eye out for any tracks of other creatures around that brook that could lead us.
Yeah, I can
At
keep
least
an
we
eye out
know
for
from
tracks.
we know from our benevolent friend that the water's safe to drink as well. Well, for him anyway. So
Yeah, for him.
I'll let you guys know that I gave him mushrooms.
Did he eat them?
Yeah.
on that note, I'll start walking faster down the river.
Sure. Yeah, it doesn't take you long. You find this brook that Zitai reported, and you head down it. As you head down the brook, I think we'll break for our second break. If you all head off and grab yourself a refill, I certainly will be as well. Join us about at 10 or so as we head into the third part of tonight's session.
1 minute.